Hi, I'm Sue Kramer with Praise and Coffee, and today I'm going to be talking about clarifying our purpose and three things that you can do today to help clarify your purpose because this is such a crazy time in our world. It's 2020 when I'm recording this. There's the pandemic, there's the politics, there's so many things that are just happening in this world, and I just feel like I talk to women all the time and they're like, I don't know where to turn. I'm not sure what my next steps are. I don't have any clarity. I don't know my purpose. I need a plan. Everything seems to just fall apart. And so we're going to talk about some things, and it might seem funny to plan this year because all of our plans seem to be changing. However, there are some core things that we can build on in our lives that no matter what happens, we're going to be okay. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is writing a long list of values that you hold dear. Now, these are your values. These are not what you do. These are who you are. What is at the core of how you feel about life? So what's important to you? What makes you feel good? Sure, cupcakes, I get it, but we're not going there. We're going more with our hearts and what is in here, what makes us feel good. So when you're watching a TV show, what makes you feel alive? What like you watch something and you're like, yes, or what about you're watching something and it gets here and you've got this lump in your emotions, you feel that grief. What are those? What is behind that? What is behind that? Was it something that was injustice? And so to you, a value would be justice or loyalty. So these are values that you're writing down. I'm going to give you some ideas from a list I have in a second, but think about what are you most proud of? Is it family, faith, success, wealth, whatever it is? What about what makes you angry? So what are the things that you think that was just wrong and it just builds up in you? Again, could it be injustice or lying? So truth would be one of your values that you hold dear, and honesty would be a value you hold dear. So I'm going to read you some that I have, and eventually I'll be putting these on praiseandcoffee.com, our website, because I'm going to put a coaching page on there. So I'm going to start doing some coaching online and in person, motivational, business, lifestyle, those kind of things. So peace is a value. Peace, wisdom, support, success, teamwork are these values that you hold dear. Self-respect, service, sharing, quality, reason, trust, trustworthiness, adventure. Is that a value that adventure is just part of who you are? You need that. Authenticity, cleanliness. That actually can come down to a value because it's just something that to you is at the core of importance of who you are. Having discipline, friendship, connection, justice, leadership, imagination, humor, control, conviction, happiness, growth, liberty, logic, love, learning. All these things are values that you can have at the core of who you are. So just write as many as you can and put them down on a piece of paper and then look at them as a whole, like all these values. Okay, I've got 12 to 20, maybe more. Now I want you to narrow them down, and this can be difficult, but it's important that you narrow down really what is the core of what you believe. And so bring it down to about 5, okay? Bring it down, cross off, and not just because you cross off hope doesn't mean you have it, but it may not be the core of, so what are the most dear values that you hold to your heart and who you are as a person? Not what you should have, but what they really are. And then these are the base that all your decisions should come from. This is what you build on. This is part of the framework of you and who you are and how uniquely you are created and that you are made by God to be you, okay? These are a part of who you are. So the first thing, these are what motivates you. These are what direct you. Let them be a force for you to use for decision making. So let them be what you say yes to. So if you're asked to do something and look at your core values, do they, is this thing something that is a yes to those core values or not? And if you have to say no to something, say no based on these values. And you know what? No is not just about saying no. No is about saying yes to what is more important and better for your life. So it is saying yes to those core values and no to something that is not part of that. I've really got to learn to do that better. I'm working on it. I'm recovering. So, and then number 2, we're doing the 3 things today that can help clarify your purpose. Number 2 is, what do you love to do? And this is not what you should do. This is what you love to do. This is not the I feel guilty, so I better do this. This is, what do you love to do? If you have you time, what do you find yourself doing? What is it? If you can had a whole weekend to yourself, what are you going to do? Not what you should do. What are you going to do? And yeah, maybe you just need time to relax and pamper. Okay, that's good. But even beyond that, what are you going to do with your time? Okay, really think about that. What is it? And I just have to say that for so long, and working with a coach myself, I kept saying, well, I kept coming back to I need to write a book. I have got to write this book. I have that thing right there is filled with stacks of notebooks of parts of the book that I have begun writing, and I have so many pieces of it I just need to pull together, and it's there, and I think someday it will happen in some form or way. However, I keep thinking every time I have free time, I should be writing the book. I should be working on the book. You know what? I don't want to. I just really don't. And I find myself doing all kinds of things that I love doing, and then I feel guilty that I didn't do the book. And I basically have come to this conclusion right now, that's not what I need to be doing, because I don't love the idea of doing it. I just want it done. And sometimes you need to push yourself. But I basically have kind of come to this conclusion that I'm going to start doing some coaching, and because I'm basically doing it all the time anyway. So I'm going to start officially doing some motivational, some life coaching, purpose life, business coaching, like that. Continue that a little more. Well, I sat down and started writing out curriculum for that. Boom, done. I mean, it's happening. It's flowing. I'm passionate about it. I love it. I love helping people, and I love the writing that way. So maybe I don't have to write this book that's going to be sitting right there. Maybe I'm putting together something else. And that's what you have to look in your life and see for you. What is the thing you should do, and what is the thing that you are going to do that's going to really matter? Because we can get real busy doing all the shoulds, and we don't actually do what matters for our life. So what is that? God is giving you snapshots and clues along the way. I'm telling you, I'll bet if I ask you, if you look back over your life over the past 5 years and where you're at now, God has given you clues and snapshots along the way that this is what you should be doing. And he builds on it. He builds on it. You do this, and then because of this, you've learned it. And so now you're going to do this. And it's a journey. This life is a journey. And there are seasons in this journey. And maybe my next season, I'll be like, I'm going to write this book. I'm basically probably going to take all the information that I have from the other stuff, and it's going to just come together and be the book that I wanted to write, or at least even a workbook. Ignore my German Shepherd. She just wanted to jump in the video today. I was surprised. She didn't do anything for the Facebook. I was surprised. She jumped in on that one. So God's been giving you clues. He's been giving you snapshots. And again, this may not be one thing. Our life is seasons, so there's different things we're doing at different times, and that's okay. But that is also another key to the purpose and the plan that God has for your life. So understanding your values, who's the core of who you are. Now understanding what I really love and what I really want to do, that's another step along the path to this and clarifying your purpose. The third thing I want you to do that is so, so, so important, and I say this all the time, can't say it enough, get an old notebook, start writing out your notes. Now, maybe you like to type and do it online on a Word document or something. Great. However you do it, get it out of here and put it out. And so start writing. Just start start writing, start with your values, start with the things you love. Just start doing, and then just start writing with the thoughts that are in your head around this. And maybe I should be doing, and just kind of processing through it. It doesn't have to make sense. No one else has to read it. This is just for you to kind of blah out on the paper, into the computer. And as you do that, what happens is it uncovers things. As I write something, the next step I realize, oh, hey, yeah. And then I start writing something else, and it basically unearths stuff that's down inside of us. It kind of takes us past different layers when we do this. But you have to make yourself that first whole page might be junk. It might be nothing that matters, but you had to go through that whole page of junk to get to this next thought. And all of a sudden you're like, and God will speak to you that way. The Lord will show you things and you'll see it. And you'll actually, like I said, also unearth what's inside you that you didn't even realize was there. And what it does is it brings clarity. It's cleansing. It's so cleansing. It's just like getting it out there. And then it's not rolling around up in here. And I'm like this because you know what I mean, ladies. It gets rolling around in there and it's just kind of chaos. Get it out, get some clarity, see it on paper, and then maybe write out your next steps. It's about next steps. It's not about every step. It's about next steps. So put it out there. It'll help define for you. So 3 things: listing your values, figuring out what your passion is, what you love to do, that's your action, what you're doing, and then a plan. Just start writing it out. These things are going to clarify for you your purpose. It's going to clarify for you. Hopefully it'll be cleansing. You might need to go to someone. You might need to repair a relationship. You might need to call a friend and have coffee and just talk. A good friend where there's no problems. I'm telling you, ladies, we need this right now. So do that. I hope this was a blessing to you. Let me know, and there'll be more coming out on my website about the coaching. I'm going to start out doing it at no cost, online and in person for a few months, just so I can get some feedback from you and really develop a good framework and plan for what I'm going to do. So thanks a lot. I hope you have a wonderful day.